You are meant to override the interference. Welcome to Alchemize Yourself Tarot. So this is going to be a bit matrixy, what I'm pulling out here. You're awakening to a crossroads. You know you've changed in awareness. You've broken a pattern, but you don't know where to go, right? You're meant to override. This moon card is that interference, that confusion, that fear. The way, the path isn't fully clear yet. It hasn't been revealed. You're part of a new awakening, but in between the moon and judgment is the sun. The sun is the clarity. So it hasn't all been revealed. It's kind of like a crescent moon. It's revealing itself. You have awakened. You've had some sort of defining awakening moment, but it hasn't fully revealed itself. The energy this morning was really confusing. I didn't even know where to go with this. Yes, we did have our full moon in Libra. I think Virgo, Libra, it was in transition. So this could have to do with partnerships, who you're aligning with at this time. You could be unsure of who you are starting to align with. We also have a lot of Piscean energy going on right now. So the moon card is really making sense here as far as that confusion, haziness, a little bit of fogginess, shadow, some unconscious things coming to the surface. But where I'm going with this, I got simulation, right? You're awakening from a simulation. It's a constructed version of your reality. So you recognize that you've been following these patterns, these algorithms, these patterns, everything that's been going on. It's very matrix-like. It's a constructed version of reality. So your reality gets, your authentic reality, your authentic truth gets caught up confusion. It gets hidden, right? The simulation hides the reality from you in order to program you to move a certain way. We have all sorts of programming. We have religion, we have politics, we have gender roles and identity, we have education, degree programs, all of those kinds of programming, media. It's all over the media, right? Certain ways of behaving, you'll see like repetition. So it kind of blocks this out. All those programmings block out what? The sun, the center, your truth, your soul, your purpose. And we're all part of that, right? That's the point. We all get filtered into it and programmed into it from the moment we're born. This is how society exists. So it's not always necessarily nefarious, but you are awakening to that. Or you have awakened to that. Maybe some of you have already awakened. Maybe you're awakening, going through another awakening, right? You can go through many cycles. The Tarot reveals that to us. that everything's patterns, everything's moves in cycles. So simulations behave like reality for training purposes, right? All these programmings exist to train us into boxes and identify us as something. So it's very hard to break out of these programs because, you know, this is for our survival. This is how we exist in society. They have boundaries, rules, you know. So when you start to awaken, you start to question, well, what is real? I've been asleep, right? What is real? There's a structure behind everything that you're experiencing. So life has patterns. You can learn the rules, and once you do, you can play it better. That's the purpose of this. You can play better within those programmings and structures. But it's really hard to break through. It's really hard to break through that existing programming because it's there, right? The powers that be, they lock us in to that programming. But you fear breaking it. That's the interference. You fear breaking out of that programming. Or you fear what it would mean for your survival. You start to get a little bit in survival mode. It starts to feel really primitive at that point, because then you're doubting, like, okay, well, how do I live within this? So we're going to break this down into a spread about questioning your assumptions about reality. Questioning the assumptions about who you are and how you're playing, or what role you're playing in this simulation. And what simulation are you choosing to be in, even? You know, like being aware of this. This is where you can get really quantum and deep with your spirituality or philosophy, however you want to put it. But this is the role you think you're playing. Okay, so you think you're playing by the rule. You're doing everything right. You're working hard towards your independence, your freedom. So this is how, what you think you're doing. You're moving towards some sort of stability and freedom and independence for yourself. Nine of Pentacles is personal freedom and abundance is the way I like to look at that. Or this is the role that you're attempting or programming yourself to exist in. What is the role you're actually playing at this time? Because something's being hidden. You know, with that Moon card, there's something that's murky or confusing to you right now. What is the role you're actually playing? Five of Wands. Struggle. Competition. So you're fighting within this system to maintain your own survival and stability, trying to create something for yourself. But you're being thrown into this simulation with a lot of other players, right? The Five of Wands is, yeah, it can be healthy competition. It can be interference, right? You're meant to override that interference. So it's like you're having to understand who you're playing with in the sandbox of reality, right? And this can be harsh, right? Things are coming at you. You know, these are things that get thrown in that can interfere with that sense of freedom and independence. The role you think I don't even know how I want to, the role you think you're playing versus the role you're playing. So they're constantly, simulations or programming is constantly trying to keep you in survival mode, because that's how you're controllable, right? People are controllable when they're constantly in the game, and you have this thrown at you from the outside, and they can kind of play around with you, right? Whoever or whatever simulation you feel like you're existing in, whatever that reality is, that programming is. So right now, you're being challenged. Fives are all about being challenged to come out strong and stable. What is the illusion that's being believed here? The Tower, and that it's going to be a constant struggle, right? Every time you start to get ahead, you get pulled back down. That it's a burden, it's stressful, that you're going to get knocked out of the game. That's what they want you to think. That's the illusion. At any moment, you can get knocked out for not playing by the rules. And that's how we all feel. So the illusion is that this abundance always feels elusive to you, because it's like every time you start to kind of feel good about things, something new gets thrown in, and the illusion is that you're going to have to carry some sort of weight and burden, and you're going to be knocked out of the game at any moment. The struggle is real, guys. The struggle is real here. But what is real? What is real? Three of Swords. This is a painful experience. We can have a lot of happiness and abundance depending on our state of mind, but we also understand that it hurts. It hurts to be knocked out of the game. What is more real is that this is a heartbreaking experience. That playing by their rules or by a certain kind of programming, it brings disappointment, right? Programming in regards to career, love, all of these programmings that we place ourselves in, they actually don't bring us this abundance and happiness. That's the reality. And it hurts sometimes. It hurts a lot of times, right? Getting knocked out, feeling like the rug is pulled out from under you. I've been getting that energy a lot. And the disappointment when you try to play by those rules that you were taught to play by. Okay? So you have to expose that. It is a wound. It hurts. It's painful. It sucks, The pain is real. It's not just a game, right? It's not fun being played with or toyed with or pulled into a mind game or a mind virus only to have it knock you down. What is the lesson? What is the lesson here? The King of Coins. Stability, security, power. You are powerful. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I know that's kind of a harsh image, but this has actually refined you, forged you. He has the sword. You're being forged by this experience, this painful heartache, disappointment, things that have knocked you down. Right? This is making you stronger at the game. It's not knocking you out of it, it's making you stronger. Just remember that. There's a lesson, there's gold hidden within that, especially for those of you, recognizing what it is for what it is. What is the choice that changes the game? The World card and the High Priestess. Inner awareness, your intuition. Intuition, the world. Integrating a cycle, closing out a cycle. This changes the game. And the Judgment card comes right before the World card. You're integrating it. You're removing that interference because you're exposing it. Sometimes the first aspect of empowerment or getting your power back is exposing the truth about the narrative, the pattern, whatever that is. And you're choosing a higher path with the World card, and you're starting a new game. Yeah, you are starting a new game. You're you're going to play by your own rules. And see, this is why I love the tarot so much, is that it gives you a structure to work with. Variables, right? You can play out variables. That's what we're doing here. And let's go a little bit deeper about this Five of Wands, Three of Swords, Tower. We're getting back to our power here with this collective. You guys get it. You guys are getting it. It's not just about blah, 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 or, like everything that's thrown at us. You're seeing something, especially when it comes to your security and what you are building, your vision for what your life, what you want your life to look like, is changing because that other programming didn't work. It built up the ego for a time, as long as you kind of played by their rules, but then it didn't work. Arrival. Oh gosh. And just warning you, these cards, I have just got introspection, right? These are a newer deck of cards talking about modern day realities or fears, controversies, conspiracies, but arrival. Okay, so what is this arrival? This could even just be the Judgment card itself, like the arrival of a new experience, breaking down reality, the programming. We're going through a collective tower, by the way. We're going through tower moment right now. We can't hide that fact anymore. We can't bury our heads in the sand. Something's going to come, and you're going to have to figure it all out. The programming is being exposed, the matrix, the simulation, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Revelation, disruption, and awe. So awe. Something about that word came out. Being awestruck. That came out somewhere else. Anyway. A burning sky parts as a great craft descends, ringed in firelight, casting a single beam through the smoke. Villagers scream and scatter, hands covering faces, eyes wide with terror and wonder. Behind them, homes and churches burn. Nothing will ever be the same. The arrival marks the moment your life is split into before and after. That's exactly what we've been talking about. Confirmation. A truth, event, or force has entered that cannot be unseen. You can't unsee it. It's exposed. It's all out there. It's no longer a conspiracy theory, right? This isn't just change, it's transformation by fire. Yeah, judgment. I don't even know where the judgment card is. I shuffled it back in. But judgment is fire. It's Pluto. I'm also getting Tower, Mars. Judgment through fire. Mars energy. Yeah, it's coming from the sky, right? Sometimes literally. You may feel shock, fear, or resistance, but the invitation is clear. Step forward into the unknown instead of retreating to the comfort of what's familiar. Nine of Pentacles, sometimes we're caught up in what's familiar to us, what feels safe. Ask yourself what's being revealed and what outdated beliefs, attachments, or alliances are burning away. Your old framework can't hold this new reality. This is your call to meet what's arriving with open eyes, steady breath, and a willingness to grow beyond who you've been. Say yes to what's here. Lean into awe as much as fear. This is a doorway few are brave enough to cross. Yeah, we're going through another awakening collective, and every one of us is feeling it. We're all feeling that. Can't just do light and fluffy anymore. You know, we're called to be aware. I'm also going to pull, well, these are the cosmos. Let's get a cosmic message. Because something's coming in from, it's going to feel cosmic, it's going to feel, it's going to shake everything up, but everything's going to have to change after that, right? You can't stay the same. Protoplanetary disk. Okay. I have not worked with this deck a whole lot, so let's see what the protoplanetary disk has to say. Where planets themselves are formed. Okay, so a planet being formed. Although all the nebulous material makes it difficult to achieve clarity in the here and now, something large, concrete, solid, and with endless possibilities is brewing. Could be something's going on in the universe right now. That could be something that, and you know what? Everything that's happening in the universe is felt, whether we're conscious or unconscious of it. You are standing in a giant incubator. This is exactly where all planetary systems and physical processes take shape to create a planet. And not just that, all this happens around what? A star. The sun. The sun, you have to have a center of gravity, a sun, a magnetic force, something that holds it. Not only is there nothing to worry about, but also nothing that you can do about it, nothing that you need to do. If lack of clarity caused by the nebula brings anxiety or confusion, remember to pay attention to the sky. Sometimes it decides to get the clouds to float across it in order to plot certain things together with the sun energy. On those days, we may only be able to see the clouds at a glance, but we know that the sun can also be found in the meeting. Everything is on its path. Just enjoy the journey. I love that. The sun, yes, but something new is being created. Something new is being formed. What happens when we have cataclysmic forces? New things are born. The cataclysmic forces bring new things. This is wild. I was not expecting to go here, you know. I didn't know what I was going to be channeling into, but this is, many of you feel this, okay? You feel this shift. Your intuition is telling you, trust your intuition, and I will close out there. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I really hope the best for you as you move through breaking down this simulation, breaking down these programs, trusting in yourself, trusting in your own reality at this time, being grounded. It's a very important time to stay grounded. So, bye. Love you guys.